What is going on, college basketball fans? Welcome back to another video. Today we have our updated Power 35 rankings for college basketball, and a lot has happened since our last Power Rankings video, which was a week before the season started. We're now 4 weeks into the season. We've gone through Feast Week, and we've learned a lot about these teams enough to where I'm ready to make an updated Power Rankings list. So I'm ready to get it started. I just want to say subscribe if you guys are new. We got a ton of college hoops content coming here for you guys on the channel. Later on today, we're going to have our ACC Big Ten Challenge predictions. Tomorrow, we're going to have our Big 12 Big East battle predictions. And starting Thursday, we're going to have episode 1 of our college basketball podcast that will be posted every Thursday here on YouTube. You don't want to miss all this content and more, so make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. We're super close to 2,000, so help your boy out. And without further ado, let's get into this week's Dannyology Power 35 rankings. Alright, so here is my power rankings heading into this week. I guess you can call it week 4 rankings. We're going to start doing these either every week or every 2 weeks. Let me know how often you guys want them. But our number 1 team is the Purdue Boilermakers, and really my top 6 all have a case for the number 1 spot. But I decided to give it to Purdue. I feel like they had the most impressive wins due to their competition. They beat West Virginia by double digits. They beat Gonzaga by double digits. They beat Duke by double digits, and they are still undefeated. Zach Edey has been a problem for every team they have gone up against. They have a great supporting cast. They actually have a pretty deep bench, and their freshman guards have been playing outstanding there at Purdue. I've been very impressed with the Boilermakers, and they come in at number 1 for me right now. At number 2, I do have the Virginia Cavaliers, and I knew Virginia was going to be really good this year and have a bounce back year and make the tournament. I did not expect them to be this good because they defeated Baylor and Illinois in the same tournament, and they have been looking fantastic, not just offensively but also defensively. I really like the way that Tony Bennett has brought this team together and is coaching this veteran team. Virginia looks like a top team in the country as of now. They are coming in here at number 2 for me. At number 3, I have Arizona, another team who won a tournament in a very, very high-level competition in their tournament. They defeated San Diego State. They defeated Creighton, and those are 2 very solid wins in my opinion. Arizona looks to be stacked, especially offensively. They've been putting up like 100 points a game, and they match up very well against a lot of teams, and Tommy Lloyd has done amazing things for this Arizona program, and the way their team is playing right now, it almost feels like a Gonzaga team, which you kind of would expect from a Tommy Lloyd team considering he came under like the Mark Few tree. So Arizona, number 3 for me. Very impressive win so far this year. They look like maybe one of the best offenses in the entire country. At number 4, we do have the Texas Longhorns, and I kind of wanted to put them higher, but everyone above them just kind of has better wins than them so far. They do have a blowout win at home against Gonzaga, but that is their only good win, whereas the teams above them kind of have more good wins than that. But Texas has looked so impressive. They definitely deserve a top 5 spot, and they come in here at number 4. At number 5, we do have UConn, another team. I wish I could put them a little bit higher, but I just feel like the 4 teams above them also deserve it. But UConn is up here as well. They are killing everyone, man. They just last night they defeated Iowa State, won the rebounding battle like 40-18, something like that. Killing them on the glass, killing them scoring-wise. Adamo Sanogo didn't even have that great of a game against Iowa State, and they still blew them out. They just have good wins against Alabama. That's also another great win there for UConn. Very, very impressive. The Huskies are up there at number 5 for me. And at number 6, another team. They have a case to be the number 1 team in the country. They have looked very, very good, but they simply do not have as good of wins as the teams above them. So they're down here at number 6, still undefeated. Their best win is on the road against Oregon, an Oregon team who has shown not to be as good as expected so far this year, but that could change. Oregon could pick it up whenever they are playing a little bit less competition, especially once they get into Pac-12 play. But yeah, Houston is up here at number 6. At number 7, I do have Creighton, and Creighton and the Maui tournament looked so good. They might have the best starting five in the entire country. Their only problem is they don't really have any depth, so their starting five is pretty much their team. But Creighton, man, can they score it. I've been very impressed with Ryan Nimhard, Ryan Cockbrenner, all these boys, Baylor Shireman, Trey Alexander, just you name it, man. Arthur Kumalu. That starting five right there is something special, and I think this team can go very far in the tournament. Their only loss is a 2-point loss to Arizona, which I have up at number 3, and they have good wins over Arkansas. They just look like a very, very solid team, and they definitely deserve to be in everybody's top 10 at this point. At number 8, I do have Indiana. They have a good road win against Xavier, who has been playing everybody tough. Indiana will get North Carolina coming to town, to Bloomington here soon, which, not as highly ranked as they were because they picked up a few losses, but still would be an impressive win if they are able to beat North Carolina, by a good bit there at home. But for now, they're coming in here at number 8. Trace Jackson Davis put up big numbers. I think he put up 30 against Xavier and on that team. So really good numbers there. Indiana at number 8 for me. At number 9, I do have Tennessee, and Tennessee has a horrible loss against Colorado. And from what I've noticed about this Tennessee team is they're definitely prone to playing some sloppy basketball and not being able to get some offense going, but they play some great defense like they did whenever they were able to pick up their win, and a kind of a dominating win against this Kansas team. They were able to lock Kansas down, and I think Tennessee has a very underrated defense, and if they can get their offense, a little bit, get some better ball movement in there, and not, because sometimes they just let the shot clock run out and then they throw up a last second heave, the last second of the shot clock, and empty possessions like that I don't really like by Tennessee. But other than that, they've looked really good defensively. They're coming up at number 9 for me after that big win against Kansas. At number 10, I do have the Arkansas Razorbacks. Their only loss is to Creighton, and they do have a good win over San Diego State as well. Arkansas, they've been playing great, and especially in the Maui tournament. Anthony Black broke out in the Maui. This team looks like a solid core and a team that's only going to get better and get deeper once Nick Smith Jr., the number 1 overall recruit from last season, number 1 freshman coming in, has not played a game for this Arkansas team yet. When he gets back in the rotation, this team could be a problem. Be on the lookout for this Arkansas team. At number 11, we do have Illinois, and Illinois impressed me greatly with their win over UCLA. They almost beat them by double digits. So it was kind of dominating. And Terrence Shannon Jr., he is a great shooter. He put up a ton of points shooting almost only threes against UCLA. He's definitely a top NBA prospect in my opinion. He looks very, very solid. Their only loss is to Virginia, but Illinois still looks very solid. They're coming in here at number 11 for me. At number 12, we do have Baylor. Again, their only loss is also to Virginia. Very similar to Illinois and Baylor. Both of their only losses to Virginia, and both of their best wins are against UCLA. In my opinion, I think Illinois has looked a little bit better than Baylor, which is why they get the notch there. But I haven't been too impressed with Jalen Bridges, the transfer from West Virginia there at Baylor. I think he could probably do a little bit more. I do really like Keontae George, the freshman coming in. I think he's going to develop and give them a really nice guard trio with him, Flagler, and Cryer. I think that is going to be a great thing for Baylor. I think maybe Jalen Bridges could possibly fall out of the starting lineup if they want to run like 4 small and then 1 big with Flo Thamba. I think that could be a deadly lineup for Baylor, and I definitely expect something like that from a Scott Drew team. Their guards are going to be great defensively, and they are. Baylor still up here at number 12. At number 13, we do have Kansas. Looked a little bit sloppy in their tournament. They tried to lose to Wisconsin. They pulled that one out with a buzzer beater. And then they went on and lost to Tennessee. Maybe now since they got that loss out of the way, though, they'll be ready to start winning some games again, and convincingly so, because Jalen Wilson looked like an All-American at the start of the season. He's kind of cooled down since then in their past few games. I expect him to turn up here soon. Daquan Harris Jr. has been maybe one of the best defensive guards in the country there for Kansas. I really like what I'm seeing from him. Kevin McAllister as well. Grady Dick looks really good offensively. He needs to improve defensively, and I think he will. I think this Kansas team has a lot of growing to do, and they can definitely get better throughout the season. And they still have a really, really good win over a Duke team at the beginning of the year. So they are still up here at number 13 after losing to Tennessee. Number 14, we do have Alabama, and Alabama kind of similar to Kansas. They have good wins against Michigan State and against North Carolina, but their only losses to more of a top team in UConn. So Alabama has looked very solid. Brandon Miller looks like the best freshman in the country. They have Mark Sears there. Quinterly's getting back off of his injury, starting to perform a little bit better throughout the year. So I think this Alabama team, a lot like Kansas, is probably going to get better throughout the season, especially if Brandon Miller can start to show up more and more. But yeah, Alabama, good wins against Michigan State. They beat North Carolina in 4 overtimes. Crazy game. They closed that one out. This team, a lot of heart here for this Bama team. At number 15, how about the Maryland Terrapins, man? They have looked solid, undefeated, good wins against Miami and against St. Louis. They've been playing very well, and Maryland definitely deserves to be here in the top 15, which is where I have them here at 15. If they continue to get good wins, especially once they get into Big Ten play, they can only climb, man. If they keep getting these good wins and staying undefeated, they look very, very solid. At number 16, also undefeated, and also defeated St. Louis, we do have the Auburn Tigers. Maryland's just above them because they have that win there against Miami, whereas Auburn hasn't really played anybody other than St. Louis. I think Auburn kind of, they're not getting as much respect as they deserve because they haven't really played. They didn't go and play in the invitational tournament, so that kind of hurts them. But I still have them up here at number 16. They are undefeated, and I cannot wait to see them play some more real competition. But for now, they're up here at number 16. At number 17, I do have Gonzaga. Some tough losses there against Purdue, but still look like a very, very solid team. They only lost to Purdue and Texas, which are both in my top 4. They have a good win over Michigan State. They have a good win over Michigan State and also Xavier. So those are 2 pretty solid wins. They're still up here at number 17. And right behind them is Michigan State. Also picked up a couple of losses, but one of their losses is to Gonzaga and in a very, very close game, which is kind of why they're right behind them. But Michigan State still has some good wins. A good win against Kentucky in the Champions Classic. Michigan State staying up here at number 18, but I'd keep an eye out for them. They kind of look like they haven't been playing as good since that Kentucky game almost. So keep an eye out for that. For now, they're up here at number 18. At number 19, I do have the Duke Blue Devils. And Duke, tough losses here to Kansas and also to Purdue, of course. But they're still up here at number 19. They're a solid squad. Kyle Filipowski, if it's not Brandon Miller, Kyle Filipowski has been another very impressive freshman. They need to get Derek Lively going. They need to get Derek Whitehead going. They were both injured throughout the offseason there and the start of the season. So trying to get them going will really help this Duke team, and I think Duke is only going to improve throughout the season, but for now they're down here at number 19. At number 20, we do have Iowa State, and I can't really figure out this Iowa State team. They got a win over North Carolina, and I think it might have been a little bit fluky. And I do think Iowa State is probably a tournament team, but that kind of feels fluky for me because Caleb Grill kind of went off, and then you've seen him against UConn. He didn't really do anything before the North Carolina game, and he didn't really do anything in the UConn game after. They got dominated on the glass in the UConn game. I don't know if they're going to be able to compete with anyone ahead of them on this list, but for now I have Iowa State here at number 20, We will learn here soon if that was a fluky win or if Iowa State is actually a pretty good team. At number 21, we do have St. John's, undefeated. Best win against Syracuse. Haven't really played anyone, but that's still a good win. And St. John's is only beating the teams that are on their schedule, which is all they can do. If they keep continuing to win, they will continue to climb these rankings. At number 22, we do have San Diego State. They got a good win over Ohio State, and their only two losses are to Arizona and also to Arkansas, which are very good teams, both of which are in my top 10. San Diego State is a very good defensive team, which is why Arizona is so impressive, because they put up 88 points on them or so. So, yeah, San Diego State up here at number 22, though. At number 23, we do have Wisconsin. Wisconsin's been very impressive for me. How about that guy Wall, man? He has been a tremendous player. They almost beat Kansas, but they still have some pretty good wins against USC and against Dayton. They're up here at number 23 for me. At number 24, we do have North Carolina. They really don't have too many good wins. Their best win is probably against the College of Charleston, and that's kind of crazy, but they did play Alabama super close. They played Iowa State super close. I'm interested to see how this North Carolina team improves, because whenever they were in 4 overtimes against Alabama, they didn't put Armando Bacot into the game. So I'm interested to see if Hubert Davis kind of wants to play a little bit more small ball and put Pete Nance at the 5. If he does that, Pete Nance will probably be coming off the bench, and Puff Johnson will start at the 4, Bacot at the 5. That might be what we start to see here from North Carolina, but we will find out very soon. At number 25, I do have the undefeated Rebels there of UNLV. They have been killing it, man. Definitely got to watch me some more UNLV. Right now, they're up here at number 25. At number 26, we do have the Drake Bulldogs, also undefeated. Haven't really played too many people, good teams, but they did beat Wyoming. I think that was without Graham Ike, though, so take that with a grain of salt when you see that they did beat Wyoming, but still undefeated, defeating the teams that are on their schedule. That's all they can do. Number 27, we do have Ohio State, and Ohio State, they do have that really good win over Texas Tech. They've been playing other teams close as well when they were in that stacked tournament, but they're up here at number 27. They look to be pretty solid. I definitely want to see more from this Buckeyes team. At number 28, we do have the College of Charleston. Their only loss is to North Carolina, and they were hanging in that game. And they also have a good win over Virginia Tech, which I also have here at number 30, we're about to talk about, which is Virginia Tech's only loss. So College of Charleston actually looking very, very solid, and it's actually the first time they've ever won the Charleston Classic. So how about them? At number 29, we do have the West Virginia Mountaineers. How about them ears, man? Defeating Florida by about 30 points yesterday. Very impressive win, and they actually played Purdue, my number 1 team in the country, closer than Gonzaga or Duke. So West Virginia, pretty solid so far. Definitely have to see more from them. They play on the road at Xavier later this week. If they can pick up that win, that will be very impressive for them, and will get West Virginia on a lot of people's radars. At number 30, we do have Virginia Tech, and Virginia Tech, interesting. Their only loss is to College of Charleston in a very, very close one, but they do still have some solid wins. They're in here at number 30. At number 31, we do have UCLA. Haven't really gotten a good win thus far, but again, their only losses are to Illinois and Baylor. So, and they played both those games pretty close throughout, so they still look like a solid team. Jamie Jaquez, Amari Bailey, the freshman, they look very solid. UCLA, I only expect to get climbed back up in these rankings as the season goes along. At number 32, we do have Missouri, and Missouri, they don't have a good win really, but they are undefeated, so I'm excited to see them play more against some tougher competition. Same thing with Mississippi State, has not played anybody good, but they are undefeated. Have to see them play some more competition, but for now they're 32 and 33. At number 34, we do have TCU. They had the bad loss early in the year, but ever since then, they have been looking pretty solid. They got a good win against Iowa recently, and I still put them in here at 24. They had a bad loss, but ever since, it seemed like at the beginning of the year they were trying to lose to a bad team, then they lost to a bad team, but then finally woke them up and they got going. Jamie Dixon, good head coach there. I think that TCU is going to start climbing back into the mix of things very slowly, week by week. And same thing with Kentucky. They don't really have any good wins. They lost to Michigan State, and they just have two losses already. But I still think Kentucky is a solid team that is going to improve. They still have one of the best, if not the best player in the country in Oscar Tshiebwe, and I think they're only going to rise and rise and rise as they play more games and once they get into SEC play. So Kentucky rounds out our Daniology Power 35 this week. Teams to look out for. We have Xavier. I didn't put them in my top 35 because they already have 3 losses, but they played Gonzaga close. They played Duke close. They played all these teams close that they played. Indiana close. That's their 3rd loss. All those 3 teams they have played super close, and they look like they should be a top 35 team, but because there's 3 losses, I just kind of have them on the outside looking in. But if they keep getting, if they get some key wins there, they will make the list. Like I said, they have West Virginia coming to town this week. That'll be a good win for them if they can get it. We also have Texas Tech. Texas Tech, they have an elite defensive group there. The loss to Ohio State especially hurt them in my opinion. Then they lost to Arkansas before that. Which are still good teams, but you would have liked to see them beat Ohio State. But they're a team I expect to climb back into these rankings here soon. Sam Houston is undefeated. They have a win over Oklahoma actually, so expect them to climb into these rankings if they keep winning. And then Iowa, they were looking really, really good until they lost to TCU, which is why TCU slipped into the rankings over Iowa. But if they keep winning, they'll slide into the rankings as well. So that is going to do it for this week's rankings. Again, let me know if you guys want to see these rankings every week or every 2 weeks down below in the comment section. A lot of good stuff coming. Make sure you guys tune in for the podcast Thursday night. It will be my first episode of my college basketball podcast. We also have predictions coming out within the next few days for the ACC Big Ten Challenge and also the Big 12 Big East battle. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you guys are new, and I'm out.